Everybody, hopefully you're doing well. I'm out at the lake today, just trying to get some sun. I am the whitest person in my house because I'm basically translucent. I do not go out in the sun very much. So I was told, go outside and touch dirt. That's what I'm going to do. I really want to talk to you guys about, I don't know if you know about it, but the police or the county or whatever that Madeline Soto lives in released some new information. It was like 900, just under 900 pages about what happened to her, and it's awful. It's really awful. Now, I'm not the type of YouTuber that is going to, my shirt flew up in the back, hold on, gotta double check. Okay. Now, I'm not the type of YouTuber that's going to put like explicit or provocative things on, but I know there are, and I didn't think that this was going to happen, but I know that there are a couple creators that put out, basically they read almost the entire thing, which is really, it's kind of awful, because I saw one live last night where it's redacted the name of Madeline, and they just kept saying Madeline, 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 and it's redacted for a reason. It's really sad. I'm trying to go around it without really saying any of the crap. It's awful. Like, they describe explicit things that she does in pictures that they have of her, and what things they're doing in the pictures of the things that they have of her. And then they talk about over 1,000 images that they had, videos, things like that, which I think it's awful. I know she's passed on, and I know a lot of people think that everybody knows that the basics of what happened to her already, but and you can only imagine. But I heard somebody last night literally describe the act of something that she was doing, and it was just awful. Like, some of it was so provocative that people would describe adult things that way, and it would even be hard to listen to. You know, a lot of people don't watch or like explicit things, so I don't know how people can handle listening to this poor little girl. Like, for 5 years, the things that she was happening, what was happening to her while she was asleep, exactly what all the photos were of this poor girl. Like, they were talking about orifices and his body parts and her body parts and what some of the pictures were. And it literally was disturbing me to the point where my stomach hurt. And I thought, the least you could do, if you're going to say all this crude stuff about her, Mickey, never fail. I freaking love Disney, so you're my new bestie. I hope you're doing really good. We're just kind of talking about the Madeline Soto case. But where was I? I get so distracted, but I get really excited about people jumping on live. Hey, Noah hit. I have dyslexia a little bit, so it's really hard for me. Hi, Sonar. Hi, Noah. I hope you're doing really good. Ethan, you're not too late. We're just talking, and there's a few things that you could rewatch if you wanted to, but we're basically talking about how crude some of the YouTubers are when describing this, the new information in the Madeline Soto case. It's really sad. I don't know what to say except for basically the things I've already said are, they've gotten so graphic that they're explaining the body parts and what he's doing to her with his body parts, and what all the things that happened to her. It's explicit. I really wish they wouldn't say this little girl's name as they do it. It's redacted, but somebody was reading it last night, and the parts that were redacted, like her name, they were saying. So they would say her name and then the act of something that had happened to her. And I think that borders on, it's going very good. Thank you so much, Noah. What's going on? I just joined. Lauren and Emma. We're talking about, what are we talking about? Sorry. I get so distracted, but I love when people hop in. Okay, so we're talking about the Madeline Soto case, and some of the YouTubers that have covered it are extremely inappropriate about it. And I respect all YouTubers. I say do your own thing. But I was really disturbed last night watching something where they were going over every single thing in the 900-page redacted paperwork that they got out last night. And I really wish that they weren't going to describe every adult thing that she did. I don't want to say it is exploiting her, but what he had done, her stepfather had done, is extremely exploitative. And to describe what he did to her and pop her name in, even though it's redacted, is kind of crude. Well, it is crude. I feel really bad, and hi Noah. I've never been to Florida. Oh wait, no, Disney World's in Florida. I totally have been to Florida, but nowhere else except for just going to Disney World. Ray, hi, how are you? I'm from Windsor, Colorado. I'm out at the Water Valley Lake. You guys could Google about Water Valley, Windsor if you're curious or whatever. But anyways, I'll try to keep going without being distracted. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So one of the people was doing a live about it, so people were commenting on things, and I just feel like it does exploit her. She's been exploited enough, and I think there should be some things that are private that she doesn't need the whole world to know about. Regardless of how horrible the things that were done to her were, there's a point where telling people that horrible things were done and that she was a child that was hurt and mentally and physically, that's one thing. But saying what she did, I think, is also exploitative. I think there are people who, just by saying those things and putting her name in, and reading those things out loud, could be, like, there could be people that are enjoying that in the wrong way. Ray, thank you so much. I don't want to say the YouTuber's name, but if you watch some of the, look into the case, watch some lives that were on last night, you will definitely see it. Now, if you guys want to see like a really good version that talks more in depth about it, Plunder did a video on it. It's not a live, it's just a video, but she talks about everything from her notes that she has, and she doesn't say any of the perverted things that happened to her, any of that stuff. She just talks about the basics of the new information that was in there. And one thing I love about Plunder, she has a picture of Jesus in the background, and I don't know, anybody who loves Jesus is a friend of mine, you know? And even if they don't, I don't really care what you believe, but it just makes me so happy to see that she is truthful about who she is, you know what I mean? But yeah, she shared a lot of information, and she was absolutely not that way. She's not the creator I was talking about. It'll be pretty easy to find if you guys want to look it up. Sonar. I didn't see any of your previous stuff. It could have been held for review. I just saw on the bottom of my screen that there are several things held for review. A lot of the time when I'm on live, there's people who jump on and say things that are mean or inappropriate. So, yeah, I think that maybe it had caught something that you had said. Anyways, Thanks for being here and everything. I just wanted to stop and say thank you. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Yeah, okay, so back to what I was talking about. Poor Madeline. Oh my gosh. The things that happened to her, and for 5 years, and she was only 13 when she passed away. The things that happened to that poor girl were so awful. There are adult women in the adult entertainment video industry that don't do some of those things. It's awful. So anyways, one of the things that they talked about in the new video in the new case that came up was, sorry, I got distracted. You guys probably saw the boat behind me of kids. So some of the new information that came up in the case was that Madeline was slumped over in the car, and that people saw her being put into the trunk, and that her body was really limp, which they were talking about it on a show, which means that rigor mortis, I hate to be crude about it, had not kicked in yet. So they're thinking that within 3 to 6 hours, something had happened to her. So something had happened to her pretty recently in the morning. I'm just hoping. Please reply. I'm sorry, I'm getting so many messages held for review from you, Sonar. I am going to ask anybody else who's on there to please report this person. Anyways, so we'll go ahead on with what I was saying. Basically, it shows the timeline of what happened to her, and I don't know if you guys know this. Her mom said that she saw her at like 8:30 getting ready for school and described what she was wearing, which was not what she was found in. So there's a lie right there. She did not see her totally fine at 8:30 because with the timeline, she couldn't have been, still alive at that time. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so that's just some of the new information that it was about. Now, somebody was saying that it's a possibility, and I think this was on a court TV, or Vinnie Politan, if you guys know him, he's really good too. They were saying that there's a possibility that he took her someplace and then something happened to her. This is just a theory, but if he was somebody who sold the things that he was collecting, the people that are buying things like that want to see a step up on the aggression towards the little person. I'm trying not to say any of the words. It's very crude. I hope that that's not what happened. But if he was selling things, that could be exactly what it was. And there's a lot of sickos out there that would buy things like that, It's just awful. There's a lot of things around the case that they haven't released yet. Florida's really good about releasing a lot of information, but like Colorado wouldn't release as much as has come out in Florida already. But it's a lot. There's some things where it talks about like genitals and things like that, and I'm like, holy crap, like this poor baby. And I don't even know how long that there's some really crude stuff, and I don't even know how long that the really, really crude things were happening to her. It could have been from the start. And I guess when Madeline's mom started dating him, he started pretty much right away. From the records they have on his images, he pretty much started right away. And there's one story, I'm going to say content warning for this one, but there's one story that talks about poor Madeline being convinced to do something for 3 seconds so that way she could play with the phone that day. And just like things like that, but 10 times worse, were talked about on some of the creators' lives last night. And I just think it's really disturbing, to the point where And I'm not judging anyone. You do what you think's best for you. But some of these creators, I think, went too explicit. They went a little bit too far. I don't want to say it's exploitative, but I wouldn't want to talk about the crude things in depth like they did, just to get views or just to shock people. I think we all have heard stories of kids that have been abused in the past. We've all heard horrible things and horrible stories, and I think our imaginations can cover a lot of it. I don't think we need the specific things, that they were doing. But it definitely, a lot of the stuff he did to her was very coercive, and a lot of the stuff was done to her while she was sleeping. I know in the report it says that she every night got a night medicine. I have no idea what that medicine was, but I wonder if it was something to put her out. And when she was out, I can't imagine what happened. Do you know what I mean? Also, Jen Soto, in this new just under 900 pages that came out, Jen Soto had said the night that something happened to her, she wanted to get a good night's sleep because she was anxious. And so she told them, Stefan and Madeline, to go upstairs to a bedroom on a whole different floor and sleep up there together. I'm sorry, but when he describes in his interviews that she needed someone there and he would just snuggle her, makes me sick. Makes me absolutely sick that her mom knew that she was snuggling, a 13-year-old was snuggling with her boyfriend on a whole new floor. It describes things that they found in that room. It's really bad. I would not recommend going over it. If you want more information, Plunder is really good, but she keeps it a little bit more PG than a lot of the other YouTubers have been. I just try to, above all, respect her. Poor little sweetheart. I just try to respect her as a person in general. By not saying certain things. I know there have been things in my life that I wouldn't want all over the news, and I wouldn't want people sharing, because I think that's her private struggle in her life. Do you know what I mean? Like, with all that stuff that is, I guess, salacious and people will want to watch, it's basically what I'm trying to say is that's her private trauma that's happened to her. And I hate that even though her name's redacted in the information, people are putting her name back in. In some cases, you can kind of see that it says her name where it's redacted, but still, I feel like that's sharing things that would be extremely hard for her to be shared. And we have to remember that her little friends are watching this. Like, her poor little friends who lost somebody that they were close to didn't have any idea that this was happening to her. And now they have to hear about the exact things that were happening. Like, anybody can watch what was on these lives. It could be her friends not seeing, but hearing explicit things that they've never even known about before. Let alone, I'm worried about some pervert watching and getting excited by the information. Like, it's really bad, some of the things that was on the YouTube live of a YouTuber last night. I'm not going to say the person, they're allowed to do whatever they want. I'm just speaking about my reaction to what I saw, and it made me physically ill just thinking about the acts that were done. I'm really trying to not say it because I don't want to be at all exploitative. I don't want to be at all exploitative of her in any way. and the struggle that she went through, because it's not a joke. There are kids, and especially during the pandemic when things were happening to her, there were a lot of kids who didn't get help and experienced things like that and aren't coming out about it because they don't want salacious things said about them as well. You know what I mean? You got to think about that. Things that have happened to me, I wouldn't want somebody to do a live about, and so I won't do that to them. You know what I mean? I just feel really bad for this kid. Like, and I don't know if this is true. In the report, it said that one of her friends said that she was late in January. So I hope to God, then there's some theories going around that she was possibly pregnant, and that could have triggered whatever happened to her, regardless of who it was, like if it was just her stepdad, if it was a stepdad and mom, like all the information. When somebody finds out they're pregnant, they do a DNA test eventually. Like they're gonna find out something happened to her when there's a baby. You know what I mean? They're gonna find out exactly who did it when there's a DNA test. I think in my opinion, my theory is they found out something physically, like they found out she was pregnant. They knew everyone was going to find out about it. It's only a matter of time before she tells her friends she's pregnant. And, so it had to have been really early on, but it was getting to the point where people would start to notice, especially a child being pregnant. We see a lot of stories about young pregnancies and the kids that are hiding it, but they're still going to school wearing big baggy clothes, and they're kind of not letting people know that they are pregnant. She's definitely dressed like that. They describe her being extremely lethargic and not wanting to take her medication anymore. I don't know if that's the medication they were describing that she takes at night. They do say that her mom says that she had ADD, and that could have been something that she was taking medication for. I'm not sure why she would take it at night, but then again, I don't really know anything about medications. But yeah, that just putting two and two together in my theory, I would say she probably was pregnant. Imagine how many things. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it, but my heart just goes out to her. It's terrifying to have a teen pregnancy when you don't really know as much about your body as you would when you're an adult and you are pregnant. Luckily, I was 24 when I had my first child, so it gave me a little bit of time to mature first, which I think I'm really thankful for. But yeah, I hope that wasn't the case, and I hope she didn't have to suffer whatsoever. They get so in depth about finding her and the state of her and her body when she was found. I would suggest that nobody watches a full live that they're describing these things. I got physically ill watching this live last night from a creator. Once again, I'm not judging this creator. If you guys go on the lives of last night, anybody talking about Madeline Soto, I'm sure you'll absolutely find multiple creators sharing the inappropriate information. When I did a video yesterday, I assumed that creators wouldn't be covering that part of it or wouldn't cover the majority of it. I was definitely wrong, because hours later I switched on something that I thought was a little bit vulgar. I'm not judging anybody, but I definitely thought it was a little bit vulgar and disrespectful to a child. She has absolutely no say in what is being shared about her, and we have to remember Her and her peers were only 13. Some of the kids that she was friends with were probably younger than her, and it's really terrifying to think that they may pop on the internet someday and see a live that describes the torturing of their friend. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just makes me cringe, and I feel so bad for those little kids, and I feel bad for Madeline. I know she is no longer on this earth, but I try to be extremely respectful to her because, gosh, sorry, a lot of people have been through that stuff, and they're already embarrassed. People already don't want people to know about things that have happened to them. So, like, if I was Madeline, I wouldn't want people to know about those things. I don't want people to know about what have happened to me already, and I'm an adult, and I could describe what happened before and after. She can't describe that. She can't really tell her story about what happened. It's just really sad. I hope that going forward, people won't be crude about it, that they won't be, is not, for lack of a better word, exploitative to her about her case. Like I said, I know for a fact that Plunder has covered this in detail. She always has amazing information. She's well-spoken, and I guarantee that she won't be going into anything crude. She talked about the 900 pages. She took amazing notes on it, but she doesn't say any of the inappropriate things that happened. She's protecting Madeline herself, and I love that. I think that she is a YouTuber with a lot of integrity. I think she's a source to be trusted, and I know she works really hard on getting all of the content that she gets. Sometimes I'll turn on her channel and I'm like, holy crap, how does she already know this stuff? But yeah, if you want to watch something, I would definitely say I have a couple videos on Madeline, but Plunder's really good about that stuff. Let's see. I think there are at least a couple other YouTube creators that are going over, but they're not going over the redacted sections, which I appreciate. I won't be talking about anything that was redacted and trying to stick her name in. It made me sick when I heard something last night where there was an act that was described, and the Madeline's name was put into it over and over. You know, such and such did this. Such and such did this. There was a picture of such and such doing this to this person. And like, that is things that makes my skin crawl. And there are people who like that stuff. Like, why give them an inch of satisfaction in even knowing it? Do you know what I mean? Dude, the whole case is devastating. Anytime something happens to a kid where they are being taken advantage of, it makes me sick. But when it has to do with vulgar things, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. Yeah. So, sorry about the hard topic today. I really appreciate you guys just hanging out with me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this case. I'm all over the place. It's hard not to watch, but at the same time, it's hard to watch some of the stuff. I just would encourage you guys to be careful what you're watching, because when I was watching last night alive, it slowly got worse and worse and worse to where I wouldn't have been watching it had I have known it was going to head there, you know? And this stuff's easy to find. There are a couple creators who did a live about it. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing really good. I hope you're getting outside in the sun. I hope you have good weather. sorry, the picture's awful and I look like crap. My hair's crazy, but I just want to be me. I don't want to be one of those creators who has to get like all dolled up and put a filter on and not be themselves, because eventually people will find out what you look like and who you are. Do you know what I mean? But I do like to get dressed up every once in a while. Anyways, back to you guys. I hope everything's going really good for you. I hope your family is safe and healthy. I would ask that if any of you have some extra prayers, that you say a prayer for me and my family at this time. I have a video on what's going on, but I don't want to discuss it again here. It's extremely difficult. The update on that is there may be a trach placed in, but that's it's kind of up in the air. So anyways, I hope you guys are getting outside. I would encourage you to drink as much water as you can, eat something healthy, moderately healthy, have a salad, have the frickin' french fries too. Do you know what I mean? I heard something about Dolly Parton yesterday, and it made me love her 1,000 times more than I already love her. She said potatoes are her favorite food, and potatoes have been the downfall of every single diet she's ever tried. And I love potatoes. Like, that's my jam. So definitely try to eat as best as you can. Get outside, breathe the air, touch some dirt. Just be happy. That's all I hope for you guys, is that you're happy and at peace, and that your family is happy and healthy. And if you have all those things and you're fit and you're healthy and your family's healthy, be thankful for everything that you have, because there's some people who don't have it. And I just really appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming, friends. I hope you have a great day. As always, please subscribe and like. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Take care.